Hello, everybody. My name is Christy St. Clair, and I live in Warwick, Rhode Island. I've been married for 4.5 years, and between us, we have 5 kids, ages 31 to 23, and 2 grandchildren, ages 2.5 and 8 months. And we've been using Doterra essential oils for over 5 years, and we've used them for all sorts of things with long lists of amazing results. But today, I'm going to talk specifically about what we've learned about food and in gut health and toxins, and how we've used our oils to get healthier in that regard. So we're going to talk about 3 things. How we can identify toxins coming into our diet. So we want to stop those bad things from coming into our body in the first place, right? And what foods help us get rid of toxins. How we can support all of what our body is designed to do originally, and what oils and supplements we can use to help flush out any toxins that do get in, because we live in a toxic world and it just happens. So our bodies were wonderfully made. They're very complex, and one of the most eye-opening things for me on my own journey has been learning how everything works together, how intricately everything works in our bodies. So we're created to be like the symphony, right? This beautiful symphony where everything works together. But when one thing gets off, when we get toxins thrown in there, it's like throwing a wrench into the whole thing, and we get noise. So what we want to do is work on this process of detoxing always, so that we have our bodies working at their fullest potential. So one thing that I've told myself over time is, because we are surrounded by a lot of options when it comes to food in America, is if we treat our body like garbage, we will feel like garbage. It sounds kind of harsh, but a lot of what we can choose to eat is technically pretty close to garbage. So we want to love our bodies and love ourselves enough not to put those things in it. So we live in a culture that's obsessed with food. Everywhere we go, it's on TV, it's on billboards, and we give our kids foods and treats for playing soccer. We give them treats for doing their homework. We go to church and we have junk food together. And I'm totally sympathize that as we talk about food, that you might have the overwhelming feelings and that this is really hard, but it's actually really doable. And we're going to talk about baby steps and how to get started. Because we're all busy, and sometimes we compromise our beliefs to get through the day. And what we do our best, right? And that's all that I'm hoping to do, is inspire you today to do your best, right? Since I started learning about food about 3 years ago, I noticed that I would feel crappy after I ate certain foods. And I began to look what was in food by spending an obscene amount of time at the grocery store reading labels. I became a label-reading gangster, and I started making healthier choices. So fast forward to 2019. I was heavier than when I was 9 months pregnant, and I found myself in a very, very low place, and a very hard place where I needed to make a change. And even though I was already eating healthier foods, I was still allowing a lot of toxins in my body. So I put a huge focus on detox. And so this was like September, about 2 years ago, I launched myself into learning about detox and how my body works. I got really strict about my food, and I began to heal. And this past January, I cut dairy and sugar, and I've lost 60 pounds over the last 18 months. But more importantly, I detox. I'm going to give you some tips on how you can begin doing this process for yourself, because our detox system is intricate, and we have many, many ways that our body moves toxins out of our body, through the skin, our lungs, our liver, our kidneys, our bowels, right? So keeping things moving is very, very important. Now, your lymphatic system moves fluid through your body that flushes out toxins. That's also very important. And so we're going to talk about how to support all of those symptoms. So first, how can we identify toxins in our diet and stop them from coming in? So focus on whole foods. Everybody knows that we're supposed to eat our fruits and vegetables, and the days can get away from you. And you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten anything green in a couple of days. So every day, making sure that we're getting those greens and those veggies in. I know you can get eggs and meat too, but I like to think, can I make this at home? If I'm looking at something to purchase, I think, could my grandmother make this at home? So if my grandmother could cook eggs in a pan, and she could stir in some spinach, but she couldn't make Cheetos in her kitchen, so that would fall under processed foods. So of course, anything that has an ingredients list is somewhat processed, and the longer the list, probably the worse it is for you. So we want to avoid those things as much as possible and focus on whole foods as much as possible. All right, so get out your pen and paper. I'm gonna give you 5 things you want to avoid. All right, you ready? Because when you're starting off brand new, you know that you need to fix your diet, you know that you need to do better, and you're just not quite sure where to start, right? I'm gonna help you with that. So number 1, high fructose corn syrup. Nothing with high fructose corn syrup should ever go into your body. There's absolutely no reason and no need whatsoever. Sugar in general is very hard on our systems. It's hard on our body, and it deeply affects our gut health. So sugar is something that we all know we need to eat less of, but especially high fructose corn syrup. Cut those products right out. And the same goes for food dyes. Anything with food dye in it is not a health food, no matter what it is. And you need to be diligent about checking packages, because the weirdest things like pickles can have dyes in them. So anything with dyes, you cut those out. And the third thing is bad oils. So anything hydrogenated, like vegetable oil, soy, canola, those kinds fit under that vegetable umbrella. Terrible for you. And you can go on from there. So do more research on the other oils that you should avoid. But for simplicity's sake, never ever vegetable, hydrogenated, soy, or canola oil. And the fourth thing to do is to look at the dirty dozen. So it can be overwhelming when we talk about like eat as much organic foods as you can, right? So it feels so hard and so expensive. But look up the Dirty Dozen, which is the top 12 fruits and vegetables that you should always eat organic. Now, I've taken this list with me to the store many times, and I've done my best. But you might pick up something and you're like, the organic is so much more expensive, but it's not on the list, so you can buy the non-organic if you need to for your budget and move on. All right, and the fifth thing is nitrates. So nitrates are typically found in processed meats like bacon and lunch meat, and anything with nitrates should be avoided. There's almost always now an option that's nitrate free, right? And then you can always find one, right? So we cook everything in healthy oils usually, right? We do use nitrate free bacon, ideally from local farmers as much as we can. And we can cook in the bacon grease as well. I know some people disagree with that, but stick to healthy oils. And one of the things that you want to do is eat the rainbow, right? Because the red, like tomatoes and the sauces and juices, that has lycopene in it. That's the phytochemical that helps. Now, if you eat red and purple things like blackberries, raspberries, grapes, and blueberries, those have, I don't know how to say these words, polyphenols and anthocyanins. I don't know how to say it, cyanins. And then if the orange, like carrots and pumpkin and mangoes, that has the carotene in it. Orange and yellows, like cantaloupes, peaches, papaya, tangerines, and oranges, have flavonoids and cryptoxanthin. And the yellow greens, like spinach, avocado, and honeydew, that has lutein and zeaxanthin. And then the greens, like your broccoli and your bok choy and kale, that has glucosinolates and indolase. And the white greens like leeks and garlic and onions and chives, they have allyl sulfides. And the colors matter, right? Because the phytochemicals that I just read, it's simply a unique chemical that is only in certain colors of produce. And more importantly, each of these color classes of phytochemicals have different beneficial benefits on the bodies. So some protect us from aging, while others improve our stamina and protect our cells from damage. So this knowledge alone should be enough to get you started, right? A single type of fruit, no matter how great it is or how much of it you eat, cannot replace the phytochemicals that are found in another fruit. So you can't get the same vitamins and minerals from orange fruits that you get from red vegetables. The healthiest people in all the nutritional survey data available are not those that eat the most fruits and vegetables, but those that eat the greatest variety of fruits and vegetables. Okay? And today there's like 38% of adolescents and 36% of adults that report they only consume fruit once a day or less. All right, so eat your fruits and vegetables. They're really good for you. Now, eating for recovery, like if you need to, like when you're exercising, right, it doesn't build your body. It fundamentally breaks it down. And when you're during rest and recovery, that's when your body repairs those broken down tissues and initiates the physiological process that results in the stronger and leaner body. So foods that you can eat regularly to help this recovery process are like blueberries, cherries, and other dark colored fruits. You can whey protein, like doTERRA's nutrition proteins you can have, leafy greens, wild-caught fatty fish, and you can also find that in Z Omega. And the leafy greens you can find in the doTERRA's greens, right? And fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, right? Those are good. And you can also get that from your PB Assist Plus. And spices like turmeric, ginger, and cinnamon, they provide antioxidant support. And you can find a lot of those spices. You can either add them to your protein shake or your greens, and you can also take the deep blue polyphenol complex, okay? Because eating the right foods can help reduce soreness, restore normal central nervous system function, provide the nutrients necessary for repair and growth, and replenish glycogen stores so you have the energy for your next training session. All right, very exciting. And multivitamins, right? I take LLV, which is doTERRA's essential oil vitamins, the lifelong vitality pack. And the thing is, people are like, oh, well, I eat very healthy. I don't need a multivitamin. Well, yes, you do. Because anyone in the scientific community who seriously studies vitamin and mineral nutrition agrees that virtually everyone's nutrition falls short in meeting even the bare minimum of requirements for many nutrients. So trying to get all the RDIs of 26 essential vitamins, minerals, and trace elements from foods alone is next to impossible. Because even if you eat a wholesome, balanced diet, the fruits and vegetables are rich in these micronutrients, but they also contain important phytonutrients like we just talked about. And the problem is that hardly anyone eats enough of the fruits and vegetables. Now, a recent analysis when this study was done with WHO data, and it shows that it's a worldwide problem. 3 out of 4 people on this planet don't even meet the minimum recommended 5 daily servings of fruits and vegetables. Instead, modern diets are high in refined foods and beverages devoid of micronutrients and full of empty calories. In the United States, 9 out of 10 adults do not meet the RDIs of vitamins D and E. And over half of us don't meet the RDIs for vitamin A, calcium, and magnesium. Now, this is from that study. So even if you are vegan or vegetarian, you are unlikely to get enough vitamin D, B12, calcium, iron, and zinc. Long term, these nutrient deficiencies cause lack of energy, poor immunity, weak bones, cognitive decline, and a lot of other health problems. So experts agree that you should try to eat a healthy diet high in fruits and vegetables and take a multivitamin and mineral supplement. Now the real question is, which supplement should you take and how should it be formulated? The RDI amounts, are they even sufficient? Right? Now, the first multivitamins that hit the retail shelves hit in like the 50s and 60s. They remain a staple in today's retail and mass markets. But one of my friends took an Uber ride from an airport one time, and it just so happened that the Uber driver was moonlighting, but he worked at a sanitation plant. And they got on to this conversation, and he was telling her how the plant shut down because it was clogged from all of the vitamins and minerals that people don't digest. Pretty eye-opening, huh? So that's why it's important to know how it's formulated. You want to make sure that your body is going to be able to absorb the nutrients that you're taking and use them, right? So just going over through my notes, and I love Doterra's vitamins because they are chelated, they're made from whole food ingredients, and they're bioavailable. So my body knows what to do with it when it gets in there. So it's made up of 3 different parts. You have the Microplex VMZ, which is the vitamins and minerals. You have the Alpha CRS, which helps with your vitality. And also the Xeo Mega, which has the fatty acids from plant and marine life, all right? There's also vegan formulas too. Now, when we talk about reducing our toxic load, it's really important to drink lots of water. And you want to eat a whole foods diet, but drink water at every meal. And improved hydration also helps with your improved sleep. All right. Now, I like to add oils, especially citrus oils, to my water. My favorite recipe is like 3 drops of cinnamon. 3 drops of grapefruit to 1 drop of cinnamon, and mix it together in my water and sip on it. It's delicious. But lemon is wonderful, tangerine, clementine, wild orange, lime. We have a blend called Slim and Sassy that's a metabolic blend, and that one tastes delicious. On Guard if you need extra immune support. So many different oils that you can put in your water, but you want to make water a priority, right? You want to make sure you take your weight, whatever it is, when you step on the scale. So say you weigh 100 pounds, then you divide 100 in 2, and you need to drink at least 50 ounces of water per day. All right, so take your weight, divide it in half, and I got some tips in my notes that, did you know that water composes 75% of your brain? It helps regulate your body temperature, makes up 83% of your blood, helps remove waste from your body. It composes 22% of your bones, helps cushion your joints, helps carry nutrients and oxygen to your cells, and it moistens the oxygen for breathing, helps convert food into energy. It protects and cushions your vital organs, and it helps your body absorb nutrients, and it makes up 23% of your muscles, right? Drink lots of water, stay hydrated. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the sunshine vitamin, vitamin D, right? It's known as the sunshine vitamin because your body produces it when your skin is directly exposed to sunlight. Your liver makes cholesterol that circulates to your skin, allowing the UV light from the sun to convert the cholesterol into vitamin D. Now, it's especially interesting that you can't get a toxic dose of vitamin D no matter how long that you're in the sun. Because if too many UV rays hit the vitamin D in your skin, it gets converted into another compound that your body excretes, leaving you with the perfect amount. So vitamin D is also added to orange juice and breakfast cereals, and it's naturally occurring in fish and eggs. But between the sun and the mentioned food sources, you would think that most people get enough vitamin D in their systems. However, that's not really the case, because worldwide it's an estimated 1 billion people have inadequate levels of vitamin D in their blood, and deficiencies can be found in all ethnicities and all age groups. So vitamin D was added to milk back in the 1930s to help with rickets, which was a deforming bone disease in children that was particularly prevalent in the northern latitudes. And in the winter, people who live at higher latitudes can't make as much vitamin D from the sun. So additionally, the thick winter clothing makes it impossible for the little sunlight that is available to reach the skin. So during the Industrial Revolution, rickets was prevalent in cities where there were tall buildings and the air pollution blocked the sunlight needed for vitamin D production in the body. So it was thought that bone-building properties in the fortified milk would solve the population's vitamin D deficiencies, but it was only a partial solution for the problem. Getting vitamin D through natural sunlight is important to the body in so many different ways, because recent research has found that additional vitamin D may be good for autoimmune diseases, supporting healthy blood pressure, and protecting against different types of illnesses. So, as you would expect, it also helps to strengthen your bones. All right? So, get your vitamin D, take your lifelong vitality pack, but also the bone nutrient complex has your 810 IUs of vitamin D, which is a great amount for women. So I hope that you've enjoyed this information, and I'm coming up on the 2-year anniversary of my first cleanse, and it's time to cleanse again. So I'm going to go ahead and get my cleanse kit ordered. I order it right from doTERRA. It comes in a kit, and it has all of the supplements I need and the lemon oil for my water that I drink during the time. And all it is a gentle cleanse, because what happens is in our digestive system, the average adult, you can Google this to get the exact amount, but say it's like between 5 and 20 pounds of impacted fecal matter in our digestive system. And that's gross, right? So when I first learned that, that's when I did my first cleanse to try to get rid of that stuff. And it actually sparked my weight loss journey. So it's time just to do a cleanse again. I like to do it 2 or 3 times a year just to clean out my body and keep it running optimum. Get rid of those toxins. So if you'd like to join me in September for doTERRA's 30-day cleanse, stay tuned right here for some education and daily reminders. And you can go ahead and order the Cleanse and Restore kit this month. If you have your own account, just log into your back office and drop it in your LRP cart and go ahead and order it. And if you don't already have your own account, I would love to help you get started. And what better way to cleanse the toxins out of your body, right? All right. I'm not sure who just popped on because I can't see comments, but hello out there. I'm just finishing up, so you can go ahead and watch the replay, and I will be back next Monday at 4 o'clock live. Have a great week, everybody.